In 1929, the United States, just before the stock market crashed and we got to go into the Depression, passed a rule called the Apportionment Act of 1929, which said the House of Representatives at 435 is all we're going to have. We're not going to go bigger than that. Not even if we add states, not if anything ever changes, not if we add people to America, nothing. And I want you to ask yourself, is America any different than it was in 1929? Just in numbers alone, the United States had 122,755,046 people in 1930, because they did a census that year, so they actually counted. In 2020, we had 331,449,281, so an increase of over 200 million. Is that a difference that matters to you? Are we different in any other ways? Are we different in where we live? In 1920, for the first time in the United States, the urban population outnumbered the rural in 1920. Today, it's not even close. The rural population of America, people in rural counties, not always necessarily on a farm, is only 46 million of the 337 million people we have. And in suburbs alone, which is our biggest group, is 175 million people live in suburbs, small metro areas, and only 98 million people live in the urban core. If you do 46 million plus 46 million, you get 92 million. That means that the farmers of this country are outnumbered by the people who live in big cities by over 2 times, not including suburbs. Are we different in manufacturing, in our service industries? Are we different in our education, in our travel, in our technology, in our access to food and the way food is produced? Is the literacy rate higher or lower? When we had radio versus TV, telephones versus cell phones. When you look at America in looking back at 1929, are we different enough that we should maybe make a change in the size of the House of Representatives? Because of that change, just so that we're clear, when we started with George Washington and James Madison, they argued for 1 representative for every 40,000 people. Because of the Apportionment Act of 1929, today as we sit here on this video, we have 1 representative for, on average, of every 761,000 Americans. Is that democracy at work? We're one of the least representative democracies of the democracies on earth because we won't change and increase the number of the House of Representatives. How bad would it be if we had 500 people in there? And if you don't like the ones that are in there, that's your business. But are we represented? And are we represented fairly? And when you do what we do with the Electoral College, every state gets 2 plus its number of representatives. Even small states with less than 600,000 people get a House of Representative, no matter what. Is democracy fair if it's not 1 vote per person and that they all weigh the same? Should votes weigh different amounts depending on who you are, how much money you have, whether you're famous, not famous, whether you're white or black or whatever? Should it? I mean, I really want you to ask yourself, is democracy in action in American politics? I don't care whether you're Republican or Democrat. I don't care whether you're this race or this religion or that religion. Should your vote count more or less than another person's? Should it count more or less than mine? Even if you agree with me or disagree with me. I don't know, think about it. So is America different today, 95 years after the Apportionment Act of 1929? That's a 200 million people increase. Should we have 1 or 2 more representatives because of that? And then what we're going to close with is the Apportionment Act just made the following changes. And I want to point this out because since you only have 435, you have to move them around. And so some states lose theirs. The following has happened to the Electoral College. Texas gained 2 more. Florida gained 1. North Carolina gained 1. Oregon, Colorado, and Montana gained 1. The following several states lost 1. That's West Virginia, Michigan, New York, Illinois, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and California. I'm not going to be picky about which state votes which way, but if you look at that list and you count, it's interesting. Every 10 years we've done a census. And every 10 years, through most of our history into 1920, we added more representatives. So we started with 59 and we got to 435. We went from 59 to 435, and we haven't gone up from 435 in the last 95 years. I hope that you will think about this. Bye-bye.